Muchachos y muchachas, welcome back, y'all. Okay, so we have been following the Balenciaga controversy step by step, what's been revealed, and it feels like so many components get revealed at different times. It's hard to keep up sometimes, but we've been doing a pretty decent job on this channel. If you are new or if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And anyway, let's get to the juice. So, okay, yesterday we went through Kim Kardashian. She broke her silence. Now, I did miss one ending part to her statement. And why that is because she posted 1 hour, or at least on her Twitter, I think maybe her story as well. She posted 1 entire hour later, and so I missed the last part where she's still considering the relationship she has with Balenciaga. If you guys are new here, recap: Balenciaga controversy, controversial photo shoots, inappropriate items with children, child models, and replacement with adult shoots, hidden things in the adult shoots and the accessory shoots that are quite, well, let's just say they tell a story, okay? Now, we're going to go through Kim Kardashian's ending statement, but also Balenciaga posted a statement today on their Instagram story. Now, I want to go through that particular statement as well, because I think a lot of people are still left in confusion as to how all of this even happened. Yesterday, I went through, there was a lawsuit that they filed against the set design, the production designers. And today it seemed to be that they were taking full responsibility. But then it's kind of contradictory because then they put this complaint out. So anyway, we're going to go through that. And oh, believe me, there's a lot more. Like I said, it's so hard to just cover it in one video. So you guys are just going to have to stay tuned. Hold on to your butts, secure your wigs, stay right there. We're going to go through it. I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Support the Second. Oh, you guys know it. I love the Second Amendment. This coin right here shows support for the Second Amendment. As you all know, not just, we're talking about big time personalities, even fashion houses. What we're about to talk about, all of these mainstream personalities and corporations, they love to talk about stripping us of our Second Amendment right, amongst others, Second Amendment right. But people like me, people like you who actually have support for the Second Amendment, you can show your support with this coin. SupportTheSecond.com. All you have to do is pay for shipping. On the front, you've got a skull with 2 pistols. Second Amendment is my gun permit, is what it says. And on the back, the Second Amendment, United States Constitution on the back. Get this at SupportTheSecond.com. Okay, so yesterday we went through, I guess, partial of Kim Kardashian's breaking silence over the Balenciaga controversy, what people are calling now Balenciaga Gate, or now Fashion Gate, as we, you guys want to hold on to your seats, because we're not done here. Okay. But anyway, Kim Kardashian states that this really was a resemblant pattern between Balenciaga and Kim Kardashian, because Balenciaga stayed silent for a long time. Well, what seemed to be a long time in PR crisis mode. But they did stay silent. They kind of seemed a bit panicked in the background because there was more being revealed about Balenciaga in real time. Now, Kim Kardashian was getting a slew of comments. A lot of people were asking her before her statement, are you going to address Balenciaga? You've got 4 kids. Is this worth it to you? Is it about the money? Just kind of paraphrasing the idea of the high-level idea of comments that were being left on her Instagram and her social media platforms. Finally, she made a statement yesterday. We read through it. I'm going to read through it really quickly here, but there was one ending statement that I left out that I feel is important to comment on. Now, let's reread it, where she reads, I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened. As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images. The safety of children must be held with the highest regard. And any attempts to normalize child abuse of any kind should have no place in our society, period. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology. In speaking with them, I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. As for, this is the part that has people outraged. As for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently reevaluating my relationship with the brand, basing it off their willingness to accept accountability for something that should have never happened to begin with, and the actions I am expecting to see them take to protect children. Okay? Now, listen, I don't mean to be an insensitive, you know what, but you got to think about the timing before this. Now, how much time did it take for online personalities, for, little accounts to call this out, to observe these things? Like, why do you need to, like, my question is, why do you even need to call the Balenciaga team to figure out what the heck was going on? What is going on? No, it is clearly observational what was going on. It was clearly, outrageous how they utilize certain props and, the age of the children and all these things to compile their fashion shoot, right? So I don't know that I can necessarily agree that you need to go talk to the Balenciaga people, the production team, the creative designer, all that. Why do they need to have that, that conversation when it's clearly observable? So I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. Now, people are roasting her. People are absolutely roasting her online. People saying, this is unacceptable, and we have to put it into context that, look at her ex-husband, Kanye. Like, he's getting canceled, his bank accounts canceled, his brand, affiliations canceled. He lost his net worth overnight, right? So imagine that is happening. And I understand it's a completely different subject with Ye, but imagine that taking care of children and the idea of taking care of children and not using them in that way is a lesser of an idea, lesser of a priority in our society than it is for canceling people for any other thing. And listen, we can talk about other things, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, those are have been things that have been under attack, for the recent years. I think we can all agree with that. And so they will, it's not just celebrities like Ye, but they'll cancel little accounts, little people, little personalities for having their own opinion, for having the wrong opinion according to them. And even you'll see things like PayPal, right? Outright cancel accounts. What did they recently do? Like, they were going to implement a policy where they were going to charge like $2,500 for having the wrong opinion or something like that. This is what I mean. Like, you have the wrong idea, and then you have all of these institutions that are willing to take control and cancel you and your livelihood, but we cannot have the same energy to protect children. And then you have big voices like Kim Kardashian, who could easily say, look, I cut ties. Like, this is completely unacceptable. There's no amount of money in the world that would make me stay in the situation, because, and I understand, like, maybe there's more to it. For instance, at the Met Gala, it was actually 𝘠𝘬𝘮, the creative director of Balenciaga, that was on her side as like her, I guess, I don't know about date, but like, he was like accompanying her on the red carpet at the Met Gala when they dressed in all black. And, maybe he's like a close resource to her. She doesn't want to lose all that. But I mean, what is more important? What is more important in our society? And I think a lot of people are starting to get it. And what is so remarkable, let me tell you, what is so remarkable is witnessing this, right? Like, witnessing this as like a smaller account, as a smaller personality, as a smaller channel, but still, having this experience of watching people from the very beginning of, you know, the great realization. I would say around 2019, people starting to realize, you know, oh, you know, what is human T wording and what is ST wording, you know, what is child T wording? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people didn't know what all this was, or exploitation or anything like that, right? And it went from like this great realization to like, you know, kind of went a little subdued a little bit, was a little bit stagnant. And now it's like, not only is it revived, like this great awareness, but it's like we're bridging two sides together. And I think that that is so incredible that people can agree. Like, no matter what side of the aisle you're from, people can agree that that's not right. Like, children should be left alone, right? And so anyway, I kind of went on a tangent there, but I'm saying all that because Kim Kardashian has a humongous platform, a humongous, you know, voice. And instead of, you know, utilizing that voice and that image for good and for denouncing this completely, nipping everything in the bud, it's like, it does seem that, you know, the branding, the deals and all of that does seem to be more important, more prioritized, I should say, right? I'm gonna put it in this perspective. There's this PR, she owns a PR firm. Her name is Molly McPherson. And I like what she had to say. She has a TikTok. She actually evaluates these PR, like, you know, these outposts, I guess, these publishings. And so she's been actually assessing some Balenciaga, but she recently assessed Kim Kardashian's posting. I want you to hear what she has to say about the idea behind that.
Kim Kardashian has responded to the Balenciaga PR crisis. If you haven't read it, get your glasses on. Black font, white background, Instagram stories. In public relations and in the news business, there are holding statements. It's a pre-approved statement. That's like a boilerplate, like a Mad Libs. It has a template, an outline, and you just plug in the details to respond to that initial phase of a crisis. What I'm noticing happening now is the holding statement is becoming the holding statement. In other words, we're going to issue a statement that puts a hold on the PR crisis for us. So in other words, it keeps the crisis at bay, so no one really has to answer to anything. And that's what Kim Kardashian does in this statement. You know, she states, the reason why I didn't respond is because I wanted to be in contact with the company. I'm now going to reevaluate my relationship with Balenciaga. You know, they're just holding the crisis at bay. So this type of language mixed with Instagram stories, which disappears, the intention is they just want it to disappear and go away. But the question is, will it? It might. We'll see. What do you think?
Okay, so fast forward, Balenciaga actually takes to their Instagram to post an additional statement about all of the controversy, right? Now, I just want to make it, I guess, refresh in your memory that the past two apologies that Balenciaga made were on their Instagram stories, which are only held for 24 hours. They disappear after that. So therefore, you've got to grab a screenshot. And, you know, I don't know, for me, like personally, that rubbed me the wrong way that they just posted an apology so flippantly on their Instagram stories, because it just shows like, is this important to you? Like, is this actually important to you? Because, you know, I would imagine someone as big as Balenciaga or a brand as big as Balenciaga would post to their website, right? Like an official published apology. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. Now they posted this particular statement. It reads, "We would like to address the controversy surrounding our recent ad campaigns. We strongly condemn child abuse. It was never our intent to include it in our narrative. The two separate ad campaigns in question reflect a series of grievous errors for which Balenciaga takes responsibility. The first campaign, the gift collection campaign, featured children with plush bear bags dressed in what some have labeled BDSM inspired outfits. Our plush bear bags and the gift collection should not have been featured with children. This was a wrong choice by Balenciaga. Combined with our failure in assessing and validating images, the responsibility for this lies with Balenciaga alone. The second separate campaign for spring 2023, which was meant to replicate a business office environment, included a photo with the page in the background from a Supreme Court ruling, United States versus Williams 2008, which confirms as illegal and not protected by freedom of speech the promotion of child P-word. All the items included in the shooting were provided by third parties that confirmed in writing that these props were fake office documents. They turned out to be real legal papers, most likely coming from the filming of a television drama. The inclusion of these unapproved documents was the result of a reckless negligence for which Balenciaga has filed a complaint. We take full accountability for our lack of oversight and control of the documents in the background, and we could have done things differently. While internal and external investigations are ongoing, we are taking the following actions. We are closely revising our organization and collective ways of working. We are reinforcing the structures around the creative processes and validation steps. We want to ensure that new controls mark a pivot and will prevent this from happening again. We are laying the groundwork with organizations who specialize in child protection and aims at ending child abuse and exploitation. We want to learn from our mistakes and identify ways we can contribute. Balenciaga reiterates its sincere apologies for the offense we have caused and extends its apologies to talents and partners. Okay. I have a lot, I wish I had so much more time, but I really don't, I want to respect your time as well, but I do have a lot of thoughts on this. Now, first of all, Balenciaga seems to be taking accountability a lot. And this to me is a little contradicting and confusing because, and at the end, they do apologize to their talents and partners and all that, involved with the shoot. But yet they're filing a lawsuit against the production company, against the set designer. I don't necessarily, I don't know that I can fully believe that it was 100% their fault. I'm sorry. Yes, it was probably their complicitness to maybe include these things, but I think there are other things that point to me thinking that they had a part in directing this. This is their shoot, right? Anyway, so that just confuses me that they're so apologetic to their partners and their vendors and all this, but yet they're taking responsibility in all this, okay? And see, the next thing, I think the most interesting thing about this entire statement is the fact that they did not include the books, okay? The thing that we got going, around the social spaces, the books that were included in the replacement images on the website, where there was a redhead, she was a model, in the back there were some books, Michael Borman's, Matthew Barney, these had some very troubling images. So it wasn't just, yes, that was troubling, the court document, right? And of course the children, that was at priority. That was the most grotesque inclusion in this entire photo shoot. But in connection to the books that were in the background, why have they not included that in the statement? In fact, Daily Mail actually picked up on this as well today, and they posted this, questioning the same thing. What about the books? Balenciaga still has not commented on that. So, guys, let me know what you think about these statements. Do you think that they are genuine? Do you believe them? Or, do we do what I think Molly McPherson pointed out? She's like, either it's going to die down or it's not, right? And the only thing that I can think of, if it doesn't die down, is because people will keep this alive and keep it going. So let me know, guys, what do you think is going to happen? Are you sick and tired of major fashion brands and corporations forcing all of this perversion in your faces? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for your love. And once again, thank you for, just being a voice as well as mine, because if it weren't for you, none of this would have gotten out. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.